Coronavirus has brought Scottish football to an unexpected halt. Last week, the SPFL chose to end the lower leagues as they currently stand, calling an end to the football season. But in the Premiership, the battle for the title rages on. As it stands, Celtic are 13 points clear of Old Firm rivals Rangers and seem poised to claim their 9th league title in a row. Regardless, Rangers are not ready to concede. The club is threatening legal action against the SPFL to keep the dream of a Rangers victory alive. Undoubtedly, Celtic versus Rangers rivalry is the most furious in the game. It isn't just geography or silverware. The Old Firm is steeped in centuries-old political and religious division. Put simply, the tension between Celtic and Rangers is a religious one. Celtic was founded in 1887 by Brother Walfrid, an Irish Marist monk, to help the impoverished Irish population of Glasgow's East End, who are predominantly Catholic, whereas, for the last century at least, Rangers have identified as a club for Protestants. Catholicism was brought to Ireland in 1169 at the start of English rule. Religious tensions began centuries later in the reign of Henry VIII, when he left the Catholic Church. In 1609, Irish Catholics had their lands confiscated by English and Scottish Protestants in an attempt to pacify the region. This was known as the Plantation of Ulster and turned Ulster into the predominantly Protestant place it is today. The friction between the Catholic natives and Protestant settlers led to the Irish Confederate Wars, with Oliver Cromwell invading Ireland and confiscating more Catholic land. The Glorious Revolution in 1688 and the Battle of the Boyne in 1690 saw King James II, a Catholic, overthrown by William III, a Protestant. This is something still celebrated today by the Orange Order, a Protestant group formed by Ulster Scots. In Ireland, this led to the rise of the Protestant ascendancy, with Ireland's predominantly Catholic population being ruled by a Protestant minority. Home rule was first proposed in 1886, following escalating violence in Ireland, and it was finally granted in 1914, but put on hold due to the beginning of the First World War. This led to the Easter Rising in 1916, and in the 1918 general election, where Sinn Féin won 73 of 105 Irish seats, forming an Irish Parliament independent of Westminster and proclaiming the Irish Republic. Sinn Féin claimed the whole of Ireland while Ulster disputed this, with Irish Unionists winning the majority of seats in the area. This sparked the Irish War of Independence in 1919, and in 1920 Home Rule was passed, splitting Ireland and Northern Ireland into separate countries. It was during this time that the IRA first emerged, dedicated to Irish republicanism at all costs. The Provisional IRA, formed in 1969, is possibly the most controversial and best known iteration of the IRA, known for their part in the Troubles in Northern Ireland, which ended in 1998 with the signing of the Good Friday Agreement. Tensions in Ireland have always been mirrored in Scotland, and particularly Glasgow. To this day, Ibrox Stadium flies the Ulster flag, while Celtic Park flies the Irish tricolour. In 1912, to avoid instability in Ireland, Belfast shipbuilders and builders of the Titanic, Harland and Wolff, set up a new shipyard in Govan, less than a mile away from Ibrox Stadium. Harland and Wolff were already known for their anti-Catholic hiring practices and brought with them a Protestant workforce who adopted Rangers as a new team. By the 1920s, support for the Orange Order, including Rangers players and directors, increased. During this time, an unwritten rule forbidding the signing of Catholic players was introduced by Rangers. It wouldn't be until 1989, with the signing of former Celtic player Mo Johnston, that Rangers would retire the custom. As political unrest in Ireland continued throughout the 20th century, supporting Celtic or Rangers became more than an allegiance to a team. Rangers became a symbol of the British establishment and conservatism, while Celtic represented Irish rebellion and socialism. Today these lines may have become blurred. Religious affiliation in Scotland is at an all-time low, while intermarriage between Catholic and Protestants is at an all-time high. In 2005, Celtic and Rangers established the Old Firm Alliance initiative to combat sectarianism and bigotry in Scottish football. Regardless, the rivalry remains fierce between the two clubs. Celtic have dominated Scottish football for nearly a decade, winning the league in the last 8 seasons and having won the Scottish treble 3 times in a row. They hope to add one more to each of these tallies, making history in the process. Meanwhile, Rangers, who were relegated from the Premiership to the 3rd Division in 2012 following bankruptcy, seek to reclaim their former glory. How this season will play out is yet to be seen.